Before you close your eyes tonight, I want to take you somewhere soft, somewhere lit by fairy lights and moonbeams, somewhere the world knows her name, but few truly know her story. Her name is Taylor Swift. You've heard the songs, you've seen the headlines, but tonight let's peel back the glitter. Let's go back to the beginning. Once upon a time in Reading, Pennsylvania, on a Christmas tree farm wrapped in evergreens and the smell of pine, a little girl with curls and wonder in her eyes grew up chasing stories. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, during a snowstorm. Her parents, Scott and Andrea, nurtured her curiosity. While other children played tag, Taylor was writing poems. Long ones, strange ones, honest ones. She fell in love with storytelling before she even understood what a chorus was. Her first songs weren't meant for anyone else. They were just the way she made sense of the world. The pain of moving schools, the thrill of a crush, the sting of being left out. She was barely 10 when she saw Faith Hill on TV and whispered to herself, "That's what I want to do." But dreams, as you'll learn tonight, don't arrive gently. They must be chased. By age 11, she had written her first song. By 12, she had convinced her family to drive 12 hours to Nashville, where she handed out demo CDs to every label office that would let her through the door. But most of them didn't. Most said, "Come back when you're older." Instead of giving up, she made her music older. She studied the craft, took up guitar, immersed herself in the history of country songwriting. At 14, Taylor got a deal with a small new label called Big Machine Records. She became their first artist, a bet, a gamble. A girl with a guitar and eyes too bright to be doubted. She moved to Tennessee, and in a town full of rhinestones and seasoned cowboys, she stood out because she was real. Taylor's debut album told simple truths about boys who didn't call back, about dreams too big for small towns. And they caught fire. Her voice wasn't perfect, but it was perfectly hers. And that's what mattered. Teardrops on My Guitar, our song, Should Have Said No. Each a diary entry sung aloud. Teenage girls across the world felt seen, heard, loved. But Taylor wasn't just writing about love. She was shaping what love would sound like for a generation. When she wrote Love Story, she turned Romeo and Juliet into something gentler, kinder, without the tragedy. Because even then, she was rewriting the ending. In music, she could control the heartbreak. In life, she couldn't. And then, it happened. A moment that would define her, but never define her worth. 2009, MTV Video Music Awards. She won Best Female Video for You Belong With Me. She stood on stage in a sparkly silver dress, 19 years old, glowing like moonlight. And then, Kanye West grabbed the mic. "I'ma let you finish." The crowd booed. She stood frozen. Not because she didn't know what to say, but because the story wasn't hers anymore. It had been hijacked. And just like that, the media changed her role. From country girl to pop culture punchline, from sweetheart to headline. But Taylor knew something the world didn't yet. Heartbreak doesn't end stories. It writes better ones. She took the pain and turned it into songs, into stages, into survival. But fame, like a flame, burns as much as it warms. The world called her fake, called her manipulative, a snake. So she shed her skin. Reputation was her bite, not her apology. It was shadows, glitter, and growls. But beneath it was still that same girl from the Christmas tree farm. Just a little older, a little stronger, a little more careful with her heart. Red was chaos in lipstick. It was youth but raw. It was the sound of burning letters and driving fast with wet eyes. It gave us All Too Well, a song that was never a single but became a sacred scripture for the broken-hearted. And then she disappeared again, only to return in 2014, reinvented. 1989 was synth-pop perfection. A girl who used to write in diaries was now writing in neon. She won Album of the Year, and then another, and then another. Then the world paused. A pandemic silenced cities. But in that silence, Taylor found her loudest voice yet. She gave us folklore and evermore. No makeup, no choreography, just campfires, cardigans, cottagecore, and characters. It wasn't about her anymore. She told stories of ghosts, triangles, lost loves, runaway brides, mad women, and invisible strings. Taylor wasn't just a singer now. She was an author of feelings, a myth maker. And just when we thought she'd faded into the forest, she returned. With Midnights, with the Eras Tour, with a billion-dollar universe that said, this isn't just music, this is a life, a legacy. Taylor Swift is no longer the girl in the bleachers. She's the architect of modern storytelling. She owns her music now. She re-records her past not out of spite, but out of power. She's shown that you can fall apart and still end up whole, that you can be underestimated and still win the long game, that you can be soft and still be steel. Her story is still being written, but tonight, as you drift off to sleep, remember, the girl who wrote songs to feel less alone made millions of us feel exactly that. And somewhere tonight, another girl sits by her window, writing her first song. Maybe it'll make it to the world. Maybe it won't. But what matters is she believes, just like Taylor did.